Hey folks, thanks for tuning in. So today we're going to talk about emulation is king and we all need to embrace it. I guess you would say illegal emulation is king and we should still embrace it. I got pretty fed up with trying to get into retro gaming these past couple months, or I guess you could say year and a half. Just like everybody else, I was into getting back into all the things that I haven't done in a while. And one of those things was, of course, gaming and retro gaming. I still don't own a modern console. Well, besides the Switch that I just got off a friend, but that's just because I got off of him. Anyway, yeah, the Switch combined with this device, and before then I was emulating a lot on my computer. I was like, wow, I've been missing out on a lot. I want to get back into it, and so after emulating on my laptop for a while, I wanted to get a physical copy of some DS games, and the prices for some of these games are just simply outrageous. I want to play RPGs, however, that's like the most expensive thing to play almost on any platform. Went to the store and they wanted $160 for Dragon Quest. I forget if it was 5 or 6. There's like a bunch of them that came out on the DS. And I said, hell no. And since then, I started looking into these retro handhelds. I wanted to get a PS Vita at first, but those have also gone up in price, unfortunately, and that's what led me to settle on this Ambernic device. And of course, I was very skeptical about ordering one of these things. They're all the way from China. You never know what you're going to get. You've seen videos of terrible retro consoles coming from overseas. Think about the Soldier console and all that kind of stuff, right? So anyway, but when the device came, I opened it up, and of course, it was the wrong thing. It wasn't what I ordered. So I was like, oh, I knew this was going to happen. I wasted my money. What am I going to do? But these people over at Amberneck, they were very professional, and they sent over the right device a couple weeks later, and it came. And they didn't ask me to send back the other one. So I got 2 devices for the price of one. That's a super win. So very happy about that. Probably sell it at some point. I did mod this one, the white one, soft mod, with 351 Elect. Shout out to the 351 Elect team. It's a great emulator. Anyway, great OS, I guess I should say, that runs RetroArch. But that's besides the point. The point that I want to get to is that having this device for the past month and a half, playing this thing almost every single day, I can tell you that playing games on here is a damn near superior experience than what I would have gotten on the original hardware. Now, yes, I'm not playing on the TV, but I could play on the TV with the adapter. However, I don't have one. But with having save states, being able to quick resume any one of these games, it's just the godsend. I wish I had a Game Boy or something like this, right? This fake boy. When I was a kid, I mean, I would have never left the house for any reason whatsoever. And I already didn't leave the house back then. Anyway, these devices offer a superior experience to original hardware, and I think that we should all embrace it, because what has happened to retro game playing, buying, collecting, however you want to say it, it's been a tragedy, really. I used to buy sealed N64 games for $5 12 years ago. You can't do that now, and it's a damn shame. You know, we're pricing out experiences for a lot of people who have consoles, but then can't afford the games, so that's a terrible situation to be in. And I think that trying to keep alive old school emulation is the key to keeping up interest in retro video games, because there's something special about these games. A lot of old games are crap, and they're not really playable today. A lot of NES games fall in that category. Nintendo put a bunch of those stupid NES games on that online thing. It comes with Super Nintendo too, and a lot of those suck too. But yeah, a lot of games that came out are terrible. Just because something old doesn't make it good. And a lot of those games, I'm like, how does anyone even play this now? Even with save states, the game sucks. And so, but not every game is like that. There were a lot of gems out there, especially even on this device. As many ROMs as it came with, yeah, a lot of them aren't that good, but the ones that are good, there's just so many good games out there. I'll be satisfied for a pretty long time. And this device has kind of shown me, wow, it really is worth investing in a good kind of piece of hardware that can do emulation, so you don't have to go back and worry about trying to afford pieces of software, and even modding your Xbox Series S that can also be a retro machine as well, while also playing the stuff on Game Pass. So it's like a double win in that respect. No, so this video was really just to express how great emulation is for retro games, and encouraging you to to play retro games again on any device that will work. And there's just so many options out there that pretty much is a solution for everybody. Like I said before, you have your consoles that you can download stuff on or mod to do it. You have your phone, which is probably the easiest way to do it. And of course, they have reissues of hardwares. I say hardwares. They have reissues of systems, right? That you can use a flash cart with and all types of stuff. So anyway, I just don't see the point in paying hundreds of bucks for a cartridge. And I think that people who do spend that are wasting their money. I just don't see the point in it. You can get a better experience through emulation. So just embrace it. And I know there's the nostalgia effect of having that cartridge and that controller, but I mean, really, you can have a similar controller, but have it emulated on your TV. And I think it's so close to the original. I mean, are you really going to notice that huge of a difference? I don't think so. And of course, I've seen the comparisons between, emulation versus the original. And it really depends on what you're using. There's just so many different factors at play that I think if you're really focused on tweaking it to the right specs, you can get a damn near perfect experience to the original hardware. So I want to encourage you all out there too, if you're into retro gaming, don't focus so much on buying physical stuff. Head over to the emulation team, head over to Piracy Land, and have fun with the rest of us. And then laugh at everyone else who's paying hundreds of bucks for a cartridge of Pokemon Yellow for the Game Boy Color. I'm laughing at you. Just kidding, I'm not really laughing at you. I'm glad you're having fun with Pokemon Yellow. But seriously, why are we paying these prices when you can have, like I said, that similar experience on a better device? You have save states, you have a backlit screen. It's just a superior experience in many ways. And I'm really frustrated with this whole reselling thing and the types of collectors on YouTube that go out there and treat this hobby of retro games as like a sport. It's like fishing. You go out there and try to get the biggest catch you can for the lowest price, and then you pat yourself in the back when you sell that game for 50 bucks for what you paid for it. You swindled some old lady at a garage sale. Good for you. I mean, do you feel like a hero for doing that? I don't think it's cool. And these people who do the graded game stuff, the whole WADA and VGA. I mean, look, if you don't have a public museum, why are you even bothering doing that? Games are not investments; they're hobbies. It's a fun little thing that no one cared about forever, and all of a sudden it's like the hottest thing out there to do. And I think it's mostly because my generation, who were kids in the '90s, the late '90s, we got to experience the golden age of gaming. And of course, as we grew up, as we got real jobs, we want to dig some of that stuff back up. And I think it's just the perfect storm of having so many millennials become of age to actually afford stuff that it's causing this kind of cascade effect on younger generations too, who also want to get into it, who are on the periphery. Because I know there are a couple people who have very popular YouTube channels who were kids when I was a teenager, who still go after retro games and stuff like that. So it's really interesting to see people younger than I am still interested in stuff that I was a kid playing and they weren't even alive to play yet. So, the whole reselling thing I don't get. I'm not against collectors or anything like that. There's a lot of collectors I follow on YouTube and I love their content. Great stuff. I think my problem is this whole idea of trying to get something for the lowest price and then jack up the price. And then the story ends from you getting the game, getting the holy grail, all this kind of stuff. It's like it's some weird hunting sport, and that's what gaming should not be about. It's not a hunt. It's about playing the game, enjoying it, and talking about it. And the whole graded games people, I don't get that stuff at all. And also, anyone who spends a ridiculous amount of money on a cartridge, I don't get it. I don't get it. I think you're wasting your money. But that's just my opinion. I know this video is going to piss a lot of people off, but I mean, seriously, a copy of Earthbound is not worth 500 bucks or whatever it goes for these days. I just think it's a waste of money, And I think unless you're going to open a museum in your basement and charge people admission, then you should start investing in having boxes and sealed games and grading, and like that's what that stuff makes sense to me. And you know, you can preserve a game without having to spend all the money to get it graded and all that kind of stuff. And as you saw with the other video exposing that kind of WADA system, a lot of this stuff is just all speculation and just pumping the market up and et cetera, et cetera. You know, one thing that really bothers me too as we close out of here is that when I go to the retro game store that I went to for a long time, they've been flooded with inventory. They don't even have enough space to store stuff anymore. And a lot of it's great product. However, the prices all suck. And I'm thinking, like, you know, what's the future of this store? If you have all this inventory, and maybe it is moving, maybe it's not, I don't know. But in my opinion, I don't know if it's moving at all. You know, what's the future of stores like this that start, you know, hoarding all this material and then can't offload it? And maybe they, like I said, maybe they are, I don't know. But what I'm trying to get to is that when you go on eBay and you go to these stores, you do see a flood of inventory, yet the prices are not going down. So what the hell's going on with this stuff where these games aren't as valuable as I'm told they are? Because I see copy after copy after copy after copy, and the price isn't really reflecting that. And then there's the whole thing too about selling fakes, or fake copies of cartridges, which are all over the internet as well. And that's what also inspired me to get into emulation, because I wanted to play physical copies of the Castlevania games on the DS. However, a lot of them are fake, and it just doesn't make any sense to buy a fake cartridge if you can just pirate it, the real, you know, just use pirate the real thing, a ROM dump of it. Like, you know, makes much more sense. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say. If you are a reseller, if you are a graded game collector, I'm sorry to offend you, but I really think that you're ruining the hobby, and I hope you change your ways. Just kidding. But I really hope you come and see the light that emulation brings. And, you know, maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, you know, call me out in the comments, of course. But with the price of games today, has this stopped you from trying to play physical media? It certainly has for me. I am a 360 player. I still play 360. The games are pretty affordable. And the whole purpose I got into retro gaming is because it was cheap. It wasn't to collect. It was because the games I wanted to play that were 60 bucks are now 20 bucks. And I'm all in on that. You know, but once the hobby becomes expensive, there's no point in me even trying to do it. I might as well just play modern games and not worry about the old stuff. You know, the old stuff is cheap for a reason, because some of it sucks. You know, I admit that. I was playing Dune on the Sega Genesis. I mean, the game is pretty fun. I'm not going to lie. But it's like, you know, you compare that to StarCraft or Command & Conquer and all that kind of stuff. I mean, they're worlds apart. The game is still fun, but is it a similar experience to like a modern RTS? I mean, absolutely not. So, you know, it's like the game should be cheap because it's less advanced. It's missing a lot of features, right? And when you treat an old game as the price of a new game, it's not fair. So anyway, this rant has gone on long enough. I hope I didn't make you too angry. And I'll see you in the next episode.